What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. So, I am still 100% totally on my summer vacation. However, the OCG's Forbidden and Limited list did just update, and I kind of wanted to have an outlet to discuss it. I thought about doing a community post, but then I was like, it's probably going to take me about the same time to make a community post that's typed up and all that good stuff as it would to just put out a video. And obviously, you guys, if you want to talk about it, it'll just be easier, a little more fun for you guys to talk about it, for me to get all my thoughts out, etc., etc. So figured I'd just make a really quick video, which probably won't even be really quick because I'm a Yugituber and we always lose track of time. Anyways, OCG, Forbidden Limited List, or as they call it, Limit Regulation. Their OCG works kind of like old Yu-Gi-Oh! They have set dates, January 1st, April 1st, July 1st, October 1st. So these are the cards that are newly forbidden: Halqifibrax, Totally Awesome, and Vanity's Emptiness. To me, the theme here seems to be cards that were long overdue to be forbidden, at least when it comes to these two cards. I have no idea how this card survived, what, 5+ years in the OCG, longer than in the TCG. We got this card banned, I believe, around 2017. This card has kind of like been meta relevant the entire time in the OCG. It doesn't matter if you're playing like a Stunish type deck, like Eldritch, control decks, combo, mid-range. The card sees playing all of them because obviously it is such a powerful card, locking your opponent out of special summoning. And, it's a card like IO. If your opponent can't answer it within a turn, they're probably just going to lose. So OCG, at least in the last couple of ban lists, they've been hitting more floodgates. I don't think that my beloved Skill Drain is at risk because it's a card that only fits into decks that don't rely on monster effects that much. But yeah, ones like IO and Vanity's definitely just kind of long overdue. Speaking of long overdue, Halqifibrax, especially in the OCG, because this card came out way before the TCG. I think this whole experiment with hitting link monsters to 1 has just been a massive failure. Whether it was Firewall Dragon, in the OCG they put Verte, Red Eyes Fusion at 1 and Dragoon at 1. That didn't work. They put Halq at 1 in both OCG and TCG. Like every single time, the cards just continue to see play because you only need 1. Like, show me the person out there who needs 2 Halqifibrax. Like, that person just doesn't exist. And we're seeing it right now in the TCG. Decks are still popping off of 1 Halq. I used to see the combos in the OCG still popping off with 1 Halq. I think that this card was long overdue. The scariest thing about Halq is the card always had insane power, but now you're starting to see it become even more of a problem. With the Link 3s not being as strong, people are starting to use the tag out effect of Halq a lot more. We're seeing that in the TCG where it's like summon Halq, get, Gamma from your deck, tag out for Formula Synchron, go into Calamity, skip your opponent's turn. Or, summon TG Wonder Magician, pop Scythe, Synchro into Baron de Fleur during your opponent's turn. Like, it's some crazy stuff that Halq allows. And I really think that this card will be gone in the TCG by the end of the year. I think it's going to survive the next list, but I don't think it'll survive after that. Then lastly, Collateral Damage. Totally Awesome. Unfortunate to see this. However, it does happen all the time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Whether it be Brilliant Fusion, Speedroid Terratops. Usually it's a card is designed for 1 to 2 archetypes, Paleo, Frogs, whatever. And then it just becomes massively popular with the, all the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Brilliant Fusion. Or it just becomes like a niche card that is so overwhelmingly strong in 1 key deck like Terratops was for Zodiac that Konami has to address it. And Toad, the power of this card is actually insane. We discussed it on my live stream. Did I think Toad was going to get banned? I said I didn't think it should be banned, but I think it will get banned in the OCG. If you guys don't know, Toad and other like key boss monsters like ABC Dragon Buster, they're already at 1 in the OCG. That means that they're already kind of on thin ice. And if you look at Toad in a vacuum, he definitely stacks up to like whatever other Omni Negate monster you want to compare him to. Baron de Fleur, Savage Dragon, Hot Red Dragon, Arching Abyss. He's either on par with them or he's arguably just better because he not only replaces himself upon going to the graveyard, his Omni Negation takes the card, which is unlike anything in the game, and he can summon monsters from the deck. Now, the trade-off is supposed to be he's insanely difficult to summon because it's not just he's rank 2, but you also have to have, Aqua, level 2. So he's supposed to be very difficult to summon. Even if you cheat him out with Bahamut Chart, you still need water monsters, level 4. So he's not supposed to be an easy card to summon, but Spites just happen to be able to do that and that's why he finds himself on this list. This could possibly happen in the TCG. This, I believe, definitely is going to happen in the TCG, and I hope it's, you know, sooner rather than later. Hopefully, Hulk does not survive this year. I think it's overdue. Limited cards, just 3. So Ava, Branded Opening, and then Spellbook of Judgment. Really cool to see Konami. I think this is a concerted effort to bring more cards off the Forbidden and Limited list. If you just look at last couple of ban lists, you know, Spellbook of Judgment, Change of Heart, Yadagurasu, these cards have been on the list for a long time. They get players excited. They get us feeling very nostalgic, feeling good. No one's ever mad when these cards come back, even when they don't do anything. Have you seen anyone competitively playing Yada? Me neither. Same thing. Change of Heart has seen some play. Now, I do think it'll be interesting to see if anyone builds, you know, Spellbooks or Prophecy, because the power ceiling of this card is still insane. I think there's a replay from a long time back during Zexal where Asian Eyes made like plus 12 with the Spellbooks like turn 1, which is crazy. But, you know, I don't think Spellbooks are nearly as powerful, but I still think this card's powerful. So we'll see what this does. I'd be a fan of seeing this in the TCG. Ava, I mean, I feel like 1 is fine. I hope they don't ban this card. I'm not a fan of the Ava ban. You know, they obviously still in the OCG have like the Union Carrier plays, and that's kind of cool. I don't know what Ben 10's at in the OCG, so I won't even act like I do, but I didn't think that this card needs to be banned. So if it stays at 1, that's fine. I thought the good ratio was like 1 Ben 10, 1 Ava. Just like leave Drytron alone after that. No 2 Ben 10s and 0 Avas. Just 1 and 1 is fine. And then Branded Opening. I gotta be honest, I don't even really know why this got hit. As far as I know, Branded is not even like a top 3 deck in the OCG. It's like Splight, and then like the Pyramids, you know, which probably are gonna be like, they're gonna be the best deck now. They were already kind of bordering over taking over Splight. So like, and then I don't know, the third deck just kind of changes from week to week, but it's usually not Despia. So I don't know why this card got hit. It feels like if they wanted to do this before Splight came out, it would have made a lot of sense, but not after. Semi-limit. So Fluunderies in the Magnificent map. It's like the first time I've ever actually looked at this card up close. It's a very, very cute card. Gen X Ally Birdman. God, I think that this card has been like limited since like 5Ds. And then Branded Fusion. Now I know I just said like, hey, I didn't think Despia needed to get hit because it's not like a top 3 deck, but like this card kind of deserves it. This card's nuts. Usually when you play against Despia, it comes down to like, did they resolve this card? Because if they resolve this card, they feeling good. If they didn't resolve this card, they not feeling good. And they have, like that deck will be fine with 2 copies of this because they have Aliber. Like they have ways of searching this card. But yeah, I'm definitely down for this card getting semi-limited. Branded Opening, not so much. I don't think that one's necessary. And then the Fluunderies map. I understand this. Fluunder is consistently like no lower than a tier like 1.5-ish, or I guess it's no lower than like a tier 2-ish deck in the OCG. So this is like a little slap on the wrist, basically. Like, okay, we don't really want to hit you, but we want to do something to show that we don't have bias or whatever. Fluunder has so many consistency cards. Terraforming. They could play basically any pot. Duality, Extravagance, Prosperity. Like, I don't think that this map going to 2 will hurt them all that much. They also play like other field spells. They can play Mystic Mind and stuff. And then for the 3s don't usually matter. And Yugioh, I'll try to name all these cards. Sword Soul Emergence, Divine Wind of the Mist Valley, Regeki, Wind Up Carriers the Mighty, Beginning of the End, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, Lone Fire Blossom, Night Assailant, Thunder Dragon Roar, Harmonizing Magician, and Orcus Harp Horror. Definitely like Harp Horror and Mighty. I have to be honest, I've said this for a while. If I could just unban 1 card, I don't know. I've never even played Wind-Ups like during Zexal, but I want this card to come back so badly in the TCG. Now the cool thing is, Mighty was at 1 in the OCG for like the longest time. And obviously they have like the sensible trade-off. They don't have Hunter in the OCG, so they can't do the wind-up loop that you could do during Zexal, where you take apart you just get rid of your opponent's entire hand. This card at 3 could be kind of crazy, because at 3, when you summon 1 Mighty, you can basically summon all of them, as long as you can summon as many number of them as you have in your extra deck. And you know, obviously that can allow you to go into some like really cool Utopia plays, which could be kind of nice. But you know, I'd like to see this card definitely in the TCG. Just get rid of, you know, Hunter. I also think maybe this is just a boomer in me. I still think Lonefire Blossom is a ridiculously strong card. Just wait until a good plant archetype comes out. Like, this card could go to 0 so easily. People don't even understand. This is one of those cards that could go to 0 or 1 in like the drop of a hat, because it's not a power corrupt card. I mean, the card is still not a hard once per turn because it came out in Phantom Darkness, and power ceiling is crazy. There's another card. I'd like to see this card at 1. I don't like Sword Soul, man. They get cards like Pot of Desires back at 2 in the TCG for like no reason. And that deck, I don't know, it has burn damage even though it's like a beatdown deck. That frustrates me. Feels like that deck just always OTKs. The rest of these cards will probably be largely inconsequential. You know, Night Assailant got Errata. Thunder Dragon Colossus is still at 1. Be another nice card for us to get into TCG. This card is still super loopable, but I think I'd be more of a proponent of it at 3 in the OCG, where they have Max C, so it's harder to like loop hands, than in the TCG where we just get our 5 cards and that's it. In the OCG, if you have Max C and your opponent tries to loop you, you basically have unlimited cards, so the loop is not going to work. They're going to have to try to deck you out or something like that. That's pretty much the end of the Forbidden and Limited list. When it comes to things I think could translate really quickly, these two, this one, depending on how splites dominate the TCG, this one I think is just going to naturally happen because card's simply too strong and it's had its time to shine. And then it would be fun to see Spellbook of Judgments or something like Wind Up Carrier Zemmighty. I mean, if I had to pick Zemmighty or Orcus Harpor, like, obviously I'd pick Zemmighty just because I'm more of a fan of the card, and I don't really care about Orcus, so, you know, it'd be fun to see people try to play windups again. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick video. Again, I'm still on vacation. Whatever you guys thought, leave it in the comment sections below. Thank you guys for watching, as always.